But where do your morals come from?
Why would that matter? Why would that matter? We're talking about the effects on society. How?
Where do you look for your morals? Where are you getting them from?
So here's the thing. We're talking about the effects of Christianity on society. Can you tell me, no, even if Christians, I'm ceding, even if Christians are totally wrong and the whole shit is made up and out of their brains, it's still better for society than whatever you have. Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
Where is your evidence of that?
Yeah, so here's my evidence of this. Yeah. Let's start with the secular nations not being able to reproduce themselves, Mark. And the more secularist a nation gets, the less likely they are to be able to reproduce themselves. Let's start with South Korea. Can you pull up? Can you pull? Yeah. So wait. I'm sorry. How do you have humans flourish if you don't have humans?
You can just because the population isn't exploding doesn't mean people are not well or happy or living well. What makes you
Mark?
think
Do you know how to do
Mark?
Do you know how to do math?
Tons and tons of humans is actually somehow people not being well. How did you get there?
Do you need to have humans for the humans to be well?
Do you really think out of 8 billion humans on this planet that suddenly we're just all going to die out? Is that what happens in your fantasy?
Mark, you need to look at the UN projections for the last 60 years. They have not hit any of their marks for the projection of population. They're predicting population collapse. Mark, they're predicting population collapse in almost every single Western nation, which can't reproduce itself. In most of the Asian nations can't reproduce themselves. They're looking at China having half of the population in only 70 years, Mark. How's secularism helping us here? With human flourishing, can't even reproduce your own nations.
Oh, this is hilarious. You think population decline is like civilization collapse? Is that really what you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, it's doom and gloom. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. It's not like there's any other humans on the planet that could possibly be flourishing at all.
Like the religious ones?
Population of the planet.
You mean like the religious ones who keep on populating, Mark? Like those ones?
Not necessarily.
Oh, necessarily, Mark. I'll tell you what. Show me any secularist society which is their population's increasing domestically. Show me any. All of the populations which increase are religious. You're right, Mark. There are going to be some humans who continue to populate. The religious ones.
Yeah, I don't, it's a non sequitur.
What's the non sequitur here?
It's basically a slippery slope argument to say because there is.
It's not a slippery slope. This is empirical data.
Then populations have to bottom out and we're all going to go extinct. I mean, will you listen to this nonsense?
Mark,
even if that is the situation, in a doomsday situation where, society collapses because we can't procreate, we can still make people. There's IVF, there's all kinds of things. There's, we can address these issues as we go along.
How?
Not the doom and doom thing.
How do you address them?
What I notice is that you will not answer any of my questions.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't a God not real debate. This is about the effects. Why does that matter?
Ignore it altogether.
I seeded it.
Why should I answer your questions?
Do you know what seeding the point is?
It.
Yeah, I just seeded it.
You are a delusional person.
Sure.
With this fantasy in your head.
Sure.
Doom and gloom. The world is going to collapse into a
Tell me how I'm wrong.
Mess.
Tell me how I'm wrong, Mark. Tell me how I'm wrong.
Because it's a slippery slope.
There's no slippery slope.
Population goes down. We can address a lack of population.
Then how?
We do not need 8, 9, 10 billion people
how do you
on
know,
this
Mark?
planet
How do you know?
in order to keep a stable population.
Okay, Mark, let's find out if this is true. You say that this is I'm making a slippery slope argument. Are you aware how the slippery slope fallacy works?
Yes, it's when you point out a causal link to something and then project it down on a series of unlikely circumstances that you cannot possibly know in order to reach a conclusion that doesn't actually follow.
Okay, would you say it's a slippery slope argument if I say if people don't have sex, they're not going to have kids?
What?
Is that, do you think that that's a slippery slope?
No.
No, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, aside from just a slight change I would make to that is people that do IVF can have kids without having sex, by the way. So there is that.
Well, no, not people, women. So I guess I would make a slight caveat to that too, Mark. But anyway, the point is, if people don't have sex, we're not going to have kids. You agree that that's true, right?
Yes.
Do you agree that if we don't have kids, we're not going to have humans?
If I agree don't have kids, we're not going to have humans. Yes.
Okay, great. So then if I point to a country and the country's not having kids, then the human supply is decreasing or increasing, Mark?
Yeah. So
Answer the question,
your
please.
idea that I'm doing your argument here is people in that country are still having sex and people in that country are still having kids.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, is the population increasing in human supply or decreasing in human supply?
It's decreasing.
It's decreasing. And don't you
Yes.
want, I'm sorry, but the whole point of human flourishing, I would assume, is that you want the humans to flourish, right? Isn't that the whole point?
When did I say human flourishing in that context?
Well, what? So you just wait. I'm super confused. Help me out. Help me out, Mark. How do we have human flourishing if there's not humans?
Well, I'm having problems with my browser.
Yeah, you're having problems. All right.
Yeah, I'm having problems with my. Oh, there we go. Okay, gotcha. All right. So human flourishing, like you're basically saying people will not have kids. But the funny thing is this, that the people that will actually keep going are the people that do have kids, because people are having kids in those countries. So your statement that, hey, people aren't having kids in those countries is not actually true.
Is there a threshold?
People will still continue to have kids and then it will reach a stabilizing point because, hey, the descendants of people having kids will have kids of their own. And just because, the population rate is declining, like that means the population growth is declining, doesn't mean it's going to have a collapse. You have not linked that in. You have not tied that knot.
Great.
And the statement that people in these countries aren't having kids is ridiculous. As there is less people, there will be more opportunities for people to have larger families.
I see.
It is an ebb and flow.
I see.
So, eventually it will reach a stabilizing point. We can have immigration. We can stabilize this. It's not a problem at all. Nobody thinks it's a problem except for these crazy doomsdayers.
Man, that's so true. South Korea has declared a demographic national emergency due to its extreme low birth rate, those science-denying doomsdayers. The country's fertility rate, which measures the average number of children a woman is expected to have, is the lowest in the world. The crisis has prompted the government to implement various measures aimed at boosting the birth rate and addressing the broader demographic challenge. Why? Because it's at 0.72, Mark, which means there's not going to be a South Korea in 100 years at that rate, Mark. It won't be there mathematically, Mark. They won't exist. Why do you think that these South Koreans
be raptured? Maybe they'll be raptured.
Why do you think that these South Koreans, Mark? Why do you think the South Koreans are such science-denying math haters?
The crisis isn't that they think that the population's suddenly going to vanish into the ether, as Andrew's trying to suggest. The problem is an aging population and taking care of people that are older. If you don't have enough population, it's kind of harder to take care of people that are older. Luckily, we have sort of solutions for this, automation technology, things that Andrew
robots are going to take care of you.
Doesn't explain how he gets his orts at all.
Why do I need to, though?
Yeah. Why do you need to?
Yeah, just get them from the same place you do, me. I get them from the same place you do, me.
Okay, so
I, Andrew Wilson, am the arbiter of all things which are moral on planet Earth. Me personally, Mark.
You personally.
Me personally.
So what is your goal that you're working towards then?
The elimination of all secular humanists.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And can you tell me why that's wrong, Mark?
Why is that wrong?
Yeah. Where do you get your odds from?
Because it's sort of, it goes against what I want, which is human well-being.
It goes against what you want. So what you want goes against what I want. What I want goes against what... I'm glad that we were able to clear that up, Mark. You philosophical juggernaut, you.
You would like to get rid of me. And I say, hey, I want the best for all humans out there.
Yeah, so what makes you right?
So I think more humans will be on my side.
So it's consensus?
You can't just get rid of me.
So it's consensus, Mark?
You don't think society is run by consensus?
Well, whether it's run by consensus or not, you think you derive your moral oughts from consensus?
No.
Oh, well, then where do you get them from, Mark?
I get them from an empathy and reciprocity, and I get them from deciding that and feeling that humans are important.
And who gets to determine what that is? You?
I do, yeah.
Oh, so then you're the ultimate arbiter of morality, just like me.
So you're basically saying that your morality is trying to eliminate me off the face of the earth.
No, I said my morality is everything that I want, and one of those things is making sure your ideology is wiped off the face of the earth. Yeah.
You said your goal is to eliminate secular humanists. That's
no
what you
humanism.
Said your goal was. Eliminate secular humanism.
Yeah.
And how will you achieve this?
Oh,
if
well,
I say, hey,
if
I'm not going to change my
here's
beliefs,
what I would do.
How are you
as the unilateral dictator of the world? I would outlaw secular humanism, and if you practiced it, I'd put you right in jail.
Okay, so you would take away my freedom because I disagree.
Yeah, why is that wrong, though, Mark?
Christian morals, ladies.
Why is that wrong, though, Mark? Why is that wrong?
Why is that wrong?
Yeah.
Well, how would you like it if I basically said, well, I'm just going to throw all Christians in jail? Wait, don't you guys say this, that atheists just want to destroy Christianity?
Yeah, but Mark, why is it actually wrong except that you're the arbiter of all that is moral?
You're the arbiter of all that's moral.
I agree. So if I'm the arbiter of all that's moral, then if I'm going to imprison all secular humanists, that's moral, right?
It's moral for you. It's not for me.
Oh, so then who's the ultimate arbiter of morality for you?
Who said there was ultimate arbiters?
Well, so there's just a arbiter? Who's that?
Well, it's intersubjective. We kind of
intersubjective
talk among ourselves and sort of say, hey, what do you want? What do you want? And most people do want to have and understand that we live together and have to provide each other with some kind of functioning society.
So
because
is
if you
so the consensus again?
Where you go around throwing in prison just people that you don't like, you will basically have a society that functions. Is horrible to live in.
But functions fine.
But is horrible to live in.
But functions fine. Why is that wrong, though? Except that you don't like it.
Function fine.
Sure.
There's a whole bunch of secular societies out there.
They can't even reproduce themselves, Mark. They can't even reproduce themselves.
Sweden and,
well, we could put them all on. They would be much happier too, Mark.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I could just, like, you as the ultimate arbiter of all that is moral, you could just go, like, inject them with make them happy.
Yeah, so I can tell that you weren't paying attention to my introduction, because greatest happiness principle is really talking about life satisfaction. And I don't know how you would be weird enough to argue that a person on heroin would have life satisfaction.
Who gets to determine what's life satisfaction?
Well, there's a number of metrics, as I showed you, that we understand.
Yeah, who determined those metrics? Who determined them?
What do you mean?
Who determined those metrics?
Well, the sciences involved.
Well, science didn't come up with metrics.
Psychiatrists. We went through all of this in the introduction. So it's basically people who studied it and, basically studied it like we study anything and come up with, hey, what do people need to be happy? What do people need to be healthy?
So help me out.
What do people need
Walk
to
me through this.
Function in society?
If you wanted,
what does a society overall need to actually function well?
And do you have to make presumptions for that, Mark?
Do I have to make presumptions
that you could measure with science?
Some of them. What do you mean?
Well, so like for instance, Mark, can you put a needle in my arm, take out my blood, and measure my happiness?
No.
No.
Why would you?
So how do you measure Andrew Wilson's happiness?
Can I put a needle in your arm, take out your blood, and measure your cholesterol?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a good place to start, right? That's a measure of healthiness, right?
Yeah, but that's not a measure of well-being. You're just presuming that. You see how that's a supposition?
You don't think being physically healthy is a measure
that's
of
a
well-being?
Supposition, Mark. You're supposing that. You see how you're supposing that?
It.
Yeah. You're supposing it.
So you think that if somebody is incredibly, ill, they are well?
Well, what does well mean?
You sound like Jordan Peterson, mate.